Please, have mercy on us.
Forgive him, we beg you.
The lawyer looked at me across his wooden desk, opened a brown envelope, and said something that made the entire room go silent. He slid one document across the table. It was a property sale agreement. My name was signed at the bottom. But I never signed it. I never even saw that property before in my life. The signature looked exactly like mine. It even had my married name. I held the paper with shaking hands. I felt tears forming, but I did not let one fall. Not in front of him. Not in front of anyone. I looked up slowly. I asked him quietly, "Who brought this paper?" He said one word, a name I knew too well. The same name I once trusted with my whole heart. Everything changed because of that one moment. And what happened next would shake an entire family for years. If this story touches your heart, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone you care about. Now let me take you back to the beginning. My name is Adeze Okafor, and this is my story. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. I grew up in a small apartment in Yaba with my mother and two younger brothers. My father passed away when I was 9. After that, my mother raised us alone with her small trading business. I learned very early that money is not easy. I learned that respect is earned, not demanded. I learned that kindness must be protected because greedy people will always try to take it from you. By 26, I had finished university, become a chartered accountant, and worked at a respected firm on Victoria Island. I lived a calm life. I did not chase attention. I did not chase expensive things. I wanted peace, consistency, and a quiet home. In my early 30s, I met Chidi. He was charming, soft-spoken, and always smiling. He came from a wealthy family in Enugu. His father, Chief Emeka, owned a popular business in the city. His mother, Mama Ngozi, moved through Lagos like she owned every street. I fell in love slowly. I believed I had met someone honest, someone stable, someone real. Almost everyone I knew said I was lucky. Many women in my circle would have given anything for a family like his. I believed them. And that is where my story truly begins to fall apart. From the first day, Chidi's family treated me differently. Not in a small way, in a clear, painful way. At family dinners, Mama Ngozi would say things like, "Our family has certain standards." She would say it while looking at my clothes, my handbag, my table manners. I never responded. I just smiled and ate my food. Whenever there was a decision to make, Chief Emeka would call his sister or his brother first. He never asked my opinion. Even when the topic was about my marriage, my future, my role, they spoke first. Then Chidi would repeat their words to me later. His younger sister Amara treated me like a worker. She asked me to send money for things she herself could afford. She asked me to cook when we visited. She even asked me to clean up after her own guests one weekend in their Lekki house. When I finished, she kissed my cheek and said, "Thank you, sister. You are such a humble helper." I smiled, but inside, I felt smaller than the chair I was sitting on. His uncle, Maazi Obi, made passing comments every Sunday dinner. "A woman who marries above her village must learn to serve quietly," he would say, smiling as though it were wisdom. I only nodded and changed the topic to the food. Whenever there was a funeral, I was the first to send a generous condolence package. At every family school celebration, I bought each child a thoughtful gift.
I even paid for a cousin's tuition once when his father said business was slow. On our anniversary each year, Mama Ngozi would greet her son first, then his brothers, and finally me with a flat, "Happy anniversary, my daughter." No blessing, no warm words. Just that flat phrase every 12 months. But favoritism does not disappear with patience. It only grows stronger when you stay quiet. For 7 years, I stood beside Chidi. I supported his business ideas. I paid some bills from my salary when his company struggled. I visited his parents every month. I never missed a single birthday, naming ceremony, or funeral. I thought love was enough. I was about to learn how wrong love can be. The first strange moment came 2 years before the truth fully opened. It was the week of Tunde's wedding, Chidi's younger brother. The whole family gathered in Enugu for the traditional ceremony. There was music, food, rich fabrics, and people I had never met before. When I walked into the family compound, I noticed something. The seating arrangement had been changed. I had been placed at a side table with young children and cousins I barely knew. Mama Ngozi sat at the high table with the important guests. Chief Emeka sat beside a senator who came to honor their family. I asked Chidi quietly about it. He looked at me and said, "It's just family arrangement. Don't make it bigger than it is." "Chidi," I said softly, "I am your wife, not a guest." He squeezed my arm and walked away to greet another elder. He did not defend my seat. He did not correct his mother. He simply moved on. I lowered my eyes. I sat where they placed me. I ate my food. I greeted every elder politely. I danced in the celebration when my name was called. I smiled at every camera.
But inside, something had broken quietly. I did not realize how deep the break was yet. The second strange moment arrived weeks later, when I tried to renew my national ID at the registration office in Alausa. The officer told me there was a property paper attached to my name. He said a legal notice had been sent to an address I never knew in Abuja. I had no house there, no land there, no relative there. I stood at that office for almost an hour, confused. I had not bought any property. I had not signed any land paper. Yet my name was moving through government systems without my permission. The officer said calmly, "Ma, if you did not sign this, someone forged your signature. You need a lawyer." I called Chidi that night. I told him what happened. He said, "My dear, ignore it. It's probably a system error from the government portal." I believed him. I trusted him fully. I had no reason to doubt the man I married. That was my biggest mistake. The betrayal did not come at once. It came slowly, like a wound that goes deeper every week. It began with small things. Chidi started coming home late. He stopped answering some calls around me. He said it was work pressure from his father's business. I accepted it. I cooked his favorite meals. I pressed his shirts. I left the porch light on for him. Then the calls came from strangers. First, a bank manager from a fintech firm. He wanted to confirm if I had opened a new investment account in Lekki. I had not. He sent me documents to review on my phone. My signature was on the account opening form. My national ID number was attached. My BVN was linked. Second, a property agent in Abuja asked if I was ready to sell my family apartment in a quiet estate near Wuse. I had no apartment there, never visited one, never signed any paper for one. Yet the agent had my signature, my phone number, and even my passport photograph on file. Third, a tax consultant at our firm noticed 2 business registrations under my name at the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Both had my signature. Both used my old Yaba address. Both had small amounts of money flowing through them quietly every month. I sat in my office one afternoon, holding all 3 documents together. My hands were cold. My chest was tight. My mind was racing. I could not finish my spreadsheet. I could not focus on my 3 p.m. meeting. I closed my door and just sat still. Someone had been using my identity for years. Someone was signing my name on property and business papers behind my back. Someone was building a quiet empire using my face, my data, and my reputation. I called Chidi that evening. I told him everything. He listened quietly. Then he said something that chilled me to the bone. He said, "Adeze, maybe you should just forget about it. Let's not bring the family into this." At that exact moment, something inside me died quietly. The woman in me, the trusting wife in me. She died that night, and the investigator in me was born. I did not scream. I did not cry. I did not storm into his parents' house. I knew that emotion without evidence would only destroy me. People would call me bitter. They would call me jealous. They would call me a woman who could not stay in her place. I refused to give them that ammunition. I called my cousin Obina, who is a lawyer. I sent him all 3 documents that night. Within 2 days, he called back. "Adeze," he said, "your signature was forged. This is not a mistake. This is a serious criminal act. We need to file a formal report." I agreed. We filed a report at the police station in Ikeja. We also wrote a formal petition to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Abuja. I was not chasing revenge. I was protecting my name. I was protecting every future child I might have. Then Obina asked a smart question. Who had full access to your ID, your wedding documents, and your old addresses after you married? I listed the people one by one. Chidi, Mama Ngozi, Amara, Chief Emeka's personal secretary. That was it. Obina requested the original files from the land registry in Abuja through a court order. We compared the signatures with samples of my real writing from my work records. A forensic document expert confirmed it within 1 week. The match was a clear forgery. The pressure was different. The slant was different. The loops were different. I thought that was the end of my discoveries. The real blow would arrive not from a paper, but from a person. I requested my credit history from the 3 major bureaus. The report came back longer than I expected. There were small loan applications I never made. There were card requests I never submitted. There was even a land use charge payment attached to an address in Asokoro I had never visited. Then I called the bank where I had interned during my youth. I asked politely if there were any old signature cards under my name that had been recently used. The manager pulled the records. He went quiet. "Ma," he said, "someone used your signature here last month to withdraw a small amount." The withdrawal was small, but the act was huge. I had evidence from 3 banks, evidence from the land registry, evidence from the tax office. The paper trail was no longer a whisper. It was a clear voice. And I still had one more piece of evidence that would shake the entire family.
I just did not know where to find it yet. The final piece came from Chidi himself. One night, in the small hours, I quietly opened his laptop while he slept. I know it sounds hard, but my identity was being stolen. My name was being sold. I could not be soft anymore. I found an email thread between Chidi, his mother, and a property lawyer in Abuja named Barrister Felix. The thread had been active for almost 4 years. It discussed how my name would be used on 3 separate properties. The reason was simple. They wrote, "Her name is clean. She is an accountant. No one will investigate her." They used me as a silent owner. They used me to hide their family wealth. They used me to avoid tax. They used me as a shield against scrutiny. I printed everything. I copied the emails to my own secure folder. I sent a sealed copy to my lawyer through a trusted dispatch rider. Then I did something important. I invited the entire family to a meeting. I booked a quiet venue in Lagos. I brought Obina. I brought the forensic expert. I brought my evidence. I even invited 2 neutral witnesses from my own family. I did not raise my voice. I did not insult anyone. I simply laid out the documents on the table, one by one. I showed them the property sale with my forged signature. I showed them the bank account. I showed them the email thread printed on white paper. I showed them the forensic expert's report. I showed them the credit history. The room went absolutely silent. Chief Emeka could not look at me. Mama Ngozi lowered her head. Amara stared at her brother like she had never seen him before. Chidi looked at the paper like he had just seen a ghost. For the first time in that family's history, they had no answer. They had no insult. They had no excuse. I stood up calmly and said, "I am not here to embarrass you. I am here to protect my name. Remove my name from all these papers. Return every property to its rightful owner. Sign a public apology, and we will speak no more about it." Mama Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. Chief Emeka asked quietly if they could handle it privately. Chidi said nothing. He only nodded. I thought that would be the end. Life had another lesson waiting. The family agreed to my demands on the surface. They signed the legal papers at Obina's office within 2 weeks. They removed my name from the properties. They closed the fake accounts. They submitted a quiet correction at the Corporate Affairs Commission. But behind closed doors, their business was already collapsing. Within 6 months, the family business in Enugu fell apart. Several investors quietly pulled out after hearing rumors about the forged signatures. One partner demanded a full audit. The audit exposed more irregularities that had been hidden for years. The chief's reputation in the community began to crack. Chidi lost his position in the business. His father lost 2 major contracts in Anambra and Imo. Mama Ngozi's standing in the Women's Fellowship was damaged when one distant cousin shared the story publicly without my permission. I was not the one who spread it, yet the truth has its own weight. It always finds a way to the surface. One Sunday, Mama Ngozi's church group asked her privately about the rumors. She could not answer. She cried through the entire service and left before communion. Chidi called me many times after. He begged me to forgive him. He cried on the phone one night. He said, "Adeze, please. I did not know the full extent. I was weak. Please forgive me." I felt pity for him. I am human. But I could not return to that marriage. The trust was gone completely. Any woman who returns to a man who forged her signature is not wise. She is only inviting another betrayal with a bigger weapon. We divorced quietly at the Ikoyi Custom Court. I kept my dignity. I kept my name clean. I kept my professional record strong. Justice did not arrive with shouting. It arrived with quiet paperwork and calm decisions. I poured my energy into the things that truly belonged to me. I grew my career. I took on more clients. Within a year, I was promoted to senior manager. My salary grew. My respect grew. My peace grew. I moved into a small but comfortable apartment in Ikoyi. I decorated it with simple, beautiful things I had earned myself. Every cushion, every curtain, every small painting came from my own labor. No one could point at a single item and say, "That came from my family's money." I opened a savings account for my mother. Every month, I added to it quietly. I supported my 2 younger brothers through their final years in school. The youngest graduated as a software engineer. The middle one became a teacher. A year later, I met someone new. His name is Emeka, a civil engineer based in Port Harcourt. He is calm. He is respectful. He never asks me to prove anything. He simply stands beside me with quiet love. When we go out, he does not introduce me as my wife at the door. He simply says my name with respect. We are not yet married, but we talk about a future with honesty. We both know what it feels like to trust the wrong person. So we trust each other slowly, like careful friends who understand that patience is the foundation of real love. One evening, my mother told me something beautiful. She said, "My daughter, God did not take the wrong out of your life. He only removed it from your path so that the right could walk beside you." That was the moment I knew my new beginning had truly begun. Today, when I look back, I do not feel anger anymore. I feel gratitude. Gratitude for the pain that taught me to protect my name. Gratitude for the betrayal that taught me to trust my own mind. Gratitude for the quiet village of family who believed me when no one in his family did. If you are in a similar situation today, please hear me. Do not let anyone sign your name without your consent. Do not let anyone use your identity as a shield. Do not sacrifice your peace just because your family wants their peace. Do not keep quiet because someone older told you that a good wife does not fight. Set boundaries. Speak the truth. Keep evidence. Choose yourself without shame. Your name is your power. Your name is your peace. Your name is your future. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your life truly depends on it. Sometimes losing the people you trusted becomes the first step toward finding yourself. And sometimes the family that once humiliated you becomes the family that quietly begs you to save them. Either way, the woman who chooses respect for herself always wins in the end. Thank you for watching. If this story reminded you of your own journey, please like, share, and subscribe. Someone in your circle needs this truth today. Read the entire script as a single, continuous solo narration by one male storyteller. Keep the delivery dramatic, cinematic, immersive, and emotionally controlled. Keep pacing slightly fast to approximate 1.3 times energy, with minimal pauses and no long breaks. Maintain the same James narrator voice consistently from start to end. Do not switch voices. Do not split into sections. Avoid exaggerated pauses between paragraphs.